Welcome back to another episode of Dreamcatchers Presents the Jason Smith Show, where we don't chase dreams, we catch them. And who am I here with today? Who is sitting on the left of me today? Inspiration, charisma, energy. He is the host of Jammin with Juice on 101.7 The Truth. Only on 101.7 The Truth every single weekday from 12p to 1p. And they also have a podcast every single Thursday live only on YouTube from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Yes, they do double duty. Not only that, one of my biggest, greatest inspirations when it comes to radio, and I think that's evident, man, he done taught me so much without even knowing. That's the craziest thing. Who am I talking about? I am talking about Mr. Amazing Ben Jammin. Ben! How are you today, man?
Amazing. I had to hit him with it, Jason, right? I had to give it to him.
No,
I had to give it to a real
I'm
hard
very
rugby.
happy you did. And y'all got to remember, that is trademark. That is copyright.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So you cannot use that.
No.
Or you will be paying him some money.
And I want you to use it. Go ahead. We can figure something out. Partnership.
That's what I'm saying. If you go use it, make sure he know. Because if he catch you, it's raps.
I got lawyers.
Ben, the first question I like to ask every single guest.
All right, bet. Let's rock.
What is the dream?
What is the dream? You know what? One thing I always hate is when people tell me that they live in the dream and I know they're not living the dream. Okay. I have 4 goals in life. My biggest 4 goals in life are to be the biggest rapper of all time, movie director, inventor, and then president of the United States in 2052.
You are the biggest dreamer.
You gotta have aspirations in life.
Bro, hold on, run that back. What's your dreams?
Greatest rapper of all time.
Boom.
Inventor.
Boom.
Director.
Boom.
President of the United States in 2052.
So first, okay, inventor. Do you know something that you would want to invent? Do you have any ideas of something you're thinking about?
Yeah, bro. Wireless charger. Another idea I thought of when it came down to, just the future of how not just the nation but the world is moving.
Yeah.
I'm always constantly thinking of new ways to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, because, I don't know, man. I think you need to have vision. And I'm just realizing I'm doing an interview for real.
It's real life.
No, it's okay, man. It's okay. But I'm realizing, I think you need to have vision for your life and always be looking towards the future because, each and every one of us has the power within inside of us to go and change and craft and shape how people will live in the future. You may be thinking that, you're just a piece of stardust out here, right? You're just one ordinary person, but it only takes one man to change the world. One of my greatest inspirations when it comes down to, the future of how you can innovate is Steve Jobs. The fact is that Steve Jobs was adopted. He didn't know his father. He didn't know any of his actual family. However, because of his DNA that was bestowed with inside of him, he took on himself to become an artist, so to speak, and invented the Apple computer. Later on, people will find other things out about Steve Jobs. His sister was an author, so that shows another credibility to his artistic capabilities. And I forget exactly what his father went on to go do, his biological father, right? But sometimes you have things that are inherently yours in this lifetime, and you need to go and act on those things. So for myself to go and have ideas to change the future, I know these things directly came from my father. My artistic capabilities, my capability to talk on a microphone, or how I treat people, or how creative I am. These are all things that were in my DNA. So with that being said, those were that's where a lot of these aspirations of mine came from.
That's what I was going to ask. When you were talking about the DNA, I was like, when you were talking about the DNA with Steve Jobs, I was going to say, do you believe that that's what you are? And without question. Because, I mean, I believe everybody is that. Everybody got a little special piece of them, special piece of their DNA, but it's all about tapping into that. Being aware of it and then tapping into that.
Right.
When did you realize, because you got these big dreams, bro, and I'm going to come back to you being the greatest rapper and president of the United States in 2052. But where did the confidence come from to be able to believe in yourself? So, bro, when I saw you walking around with the shirt that got your face on it, that shit, bro, it's iconic. It's legendary, bro. Because first person, obviously, the first thing people gonna see is, bro, this dude full of himself. Why not?
Yeah.
Why is that a bad thing? So, where did the confidence come from?
I mean, so the confidence in myself, or just confidence to put myself on a shirt?
Both, because I look at it as the same, because in order to put that shit on your shirt, you have to be confident within yourself. But where did the self-confidence come from?
Okay, well, I want to answer the confidence on the shirt first.
Yeah.
Really, it just came from a marketing aspect. When you look at the Jay-Z's or Lil Babies or whatever artists, right? People will wear, another person's face on their shirt anytime. So I was like, why can't I do that for myself? Secondly, confidence, I had to build that up. That wasn't anything that I was innately gifted with. It was something that I had to actually look myself in the mirror and tell myself I was confident. Like I was very shy as a child. So when I decided I wanted to start rapping, like for real, at the age of 14, I decided to be like, you know what, man, if this is something you really gonna do, you got to start rapping at the lunch tables, right? And it was like, bro, all BS aside, like all BS out the window. I was listening to Ludacris's, I want to say it was his Release Therapy album, and there was a song on there talking about I grew up to screw up, and there's a line on there that basically said, just all BS out the window, and that's what that was like a mantra I used to tell myself, so I could like actually start rapping at the lunch table, because I knew I wanted to rap. So in doing so, that's kind of where like the confidence had came from, or that was the spark. But after that, it was more so the confidence came from just me being more comfortable with who I am as a person. I hated my eye color for a long time in my life. So when I was like 21, 22, I actually understood, like, Ben, this is you. This is who you're going to be for the rest of your life. Like, you need to just grasp it. So my confidence started off as like a false confidence. Like, I was just faking my confidence. But then eventually just grew into who I was. And then I went on to go read a book called like, it's like How to Break a Habit in 21 Days or something like that. But in doing so, you learn also how to create a habit in 21 days. And I'll tell anybody this, really, truly, all you need is 21 days of telling yourself you can do something, and eventually you'll become that. So if you feel like you have lack of confidence right now in yourself, you can tell yourself that I am confident. It can be fake confidence. It can be fake confidence, but tell yourself that you are confident, and eventually your whole body will transform into you just being a confident person. And other people will start viewing you as a confident person just because that's how you start to walk. Your strut will start to be different. The way you speak will be different. How you talk to yourself will be that much more different. So the confidence began right here in my mind, and it's just something that I knew I needed to grow. So yeah.
So fake it till you make it, bro. And I think when a lot of people say that, people be like, oh, but you're being inauthentic. No, it's not about that, bro. That's a literal fact. And yes, it's backed up by science, bro. If you act as if, you will become it. Yeah. Like that's just a fact of life.
No, that's real.
So it's like, if you don't believe, act like you believe it, and eventually you will train your mind to believe.
It'll become reality.
Exactly, bro. So that's where you got your confidence from. President in 2052, because I'm going to get to your childhood. I'm going to get to all of that.
Okay, that's right.
But president in 2052, we were just at the RNC, the Republican National Convention. Trump was here. Everybody was here, bro. We actually ran into Trump's biggest supporter. Hulk Hogan was here. Amber Rose was here. Eric Trump was. Everybody was here. But something that stood out to me was the fact that everybody you talked to, you told them you was running for president in 2052, and every single person said, you got a political strategist. Hey, make sure you hit me up.
Right, yep.
You had a few other delegates. Hey, I'll be in your cabinet. Hey, I'll be a running mate with you.
100%.
You got the Trump biggest supporter saying, hey, when you start running, forget Trump.
I'm
going to be supporting you.
Yeah.
First, I hate asking loaded questions, 2 questions, but
I love them.
Where did that confidence, the idea to even want to be president come from? And then how does it feel knowing that, bro, it's people out here who actually backing you up on this?
So I'll say the idea for me to become president of the United States in 2052. But first off, even the idea of me wanting to become president, I'm not gonna lie to anybody out there, but really it was Trump. Trump inspired me to do it. Because before Donald Trump, we used to see all these like politicians that were like, "Oh, I went to school for this.
I went to
school
Yale.
for that. Yeah, I went to Yale. I had to do this. If you want to go down the Illuminati route, I had to be a part of the Cross and Bones, Skull and Bones, right?" But then there was a Donald Trump who came in and was more so like, "Yeah, you like that, don't you?" Yeah. But then there was a Donald Trump who came in who was, in just a position of all of those gentlemen who came prior to him. And I was like, man, look, personally, I don't think this dude even care about humanity. I don't think this dude care about human beings. And I know I care about human life. I care about every and anybody. If you got a breath in your lungs, I'm gonna care about you, just because I have just that big of a heart. So I was like, man, if this dude could become president and step, stump on everybody he's seen in his lifetime and still become president, well, what would happen if somebody actually really cared about people? How would that person's trajectory to become president happen? So I was like, man, I care about people. I can become president of the United States. So that's my run.
That's absolutely amazing. Now, how does it feel knowing that you got people at the RNC supporting you? How does it feel knowing that people got your back?
Honestly, Jason, for real, it's definitely a blessing, and it really let me know, because people sit in their silos sometimes, and the silos that they're in, they don't have people just support, right?
Yes.
They don't even know about people being able to be capable of being supportive, right? And it's one of these things where once you get around the right group or the right group of people, they'll be down for whatever you really want to do, right? Like if they're willing to support you and they're good people, they'll be like, you know what, this person has a dream. I see this person has a dream. I'm willing to support it. On top of that, it's one of these things where, if you come off as a confident person or somebody who believes in something, there's going to be somebody else out there that's like, you know what, maybe I can't do it, but he can, and I'm willing to believe in that. And then secondly or thirdly, I'll go on to say that, I discovered that, people don't necessarily really care about a person's policies. Not saying that I won't have good policies, but people don't really care about a person's policies. What they really care about is if they can sit down at the bar with you and have a drink with you. They want to know if they can kick with you. They want to know if they can see themselves in you. And if people can see themselves in you, well, that's even that much more powerful. There was it's one of Jay-Z's right-hand man. I can't, Lenny S. Mm-hmm. Lenny S. But Lenny S. goes on to say that, look, people either have to want to believe you or want to be you in your rhymes. But it's not even just necessarily just about music. This is in life. So if people can believe you when you're saying something or want to be you, then you've won at the end of the day, right? Because now you've added a new, for lack of better terms, follower. You've added on a new fan, or what I would like to call a new friend, somebody who believes in you, wants to support you, wants to see you do good in life because, they see themselves in you, and I think that's what, I don't want to veer too far off track, but I think that's what Jesus kind of did when he came down here on this planet. People saw themselves in him. And I think that's what happens with anybody who becomes some kind of major leader. People see themselves in you, even if you're a person who is of malice, of evilness, right? Like even a Hitler, the German race saw themselves in Hitler.
He brought that side of them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Representation.
Yeah, representation is key, man, because it'll push you into becoming something that you never even thought you'd become.
That's so
just seeing it.
The reason why that's so important for me, representation is everything for me. Like the main reason, when I go to the school speaking and stuff, the main reason my hair is still like this, the main reason I typically wear chains and I have earrings is for representation. Because when I go to these white schools, like when I go to Menominee Falls and I go to Jammin, wherever, and I'm seeing the sprinkle of black kids who look just like me. Now, after I get done talking to them, they coming up to me saying, "Hey, bro, thank you. I needed that."
Yeah.
That, bro, that's everything. So then that's when I realized, dude, representation is key. Right. Like I know a lot of people, even black people, clown on Obama as being president, and stuff like that. But the powerful thing about that is now you got little black kids, bro, little black boys looking at them, bro, saying, bro, if he can do that,
I can too.
I can do that. And that's the main thing. It's just about believing in yourself, bro. No matter what it is, you don't have to be president.
Right.
But the fact that this dude, no matter how he did it, no matter if people say the white people put him in there and all that, no matter how he did it, bro, he was leading the nation, bro.
Right.
A black
That's
dude.
a black man.
So representation is absolutely amazing. Rapping. I know you rap.
Yeah, I rap. I'm an MC.
Album coming out, is it?
September 23rd. Hollywood Hooks.
Hollywood Hooks, September 23rd. So that means when I come out, we got to have you on because we got to talk about the album. We got to break the album down.
We can do it.
We got to talk about the songs.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to let these people know. Because, like, bro, when I'm listening to music, what do you like better? Do you like conscious albums better? Like, albums that's telling a story? Or do you like pop albums, as in pop rap albums, whereas in it's not really telling a story, it's just a song full of hits? I mean, it's an album full of hits.
I know what you're saying, because Certified Lover Boy, in my opinion, was like an album full of hits.
You feel what I'm saying?
But then you got Kendrick Lamar, who would drop a Damn, which is, the conceptual album.
Yeah.
Personally, me, I prefer a conceptual album. I think a body of work stands the test of time. Whereas, if you're just dropping hits, they may hit today, but may be gone tomorrow, So now you continuously chasing a hit just like a junkie.
Yes, bro.
That's just my opinion.
Everybody want to follow, and shout out Michael Jackson, the greatest of all time, but they want to follow the Thriller method.
Yeah.
The thing is, in order to follow that method, you need songs like Billie Jean. You need songs like Beat It, Wanna Be Starting Something Human. Like, you need all of those songs in order to make an album like that, which is cool, bro, because I like that type of albums too, like it's just the hits. But I much, 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 much rather prefer a conceptual album that tells a story, like Eminem new album.
Mm-hmm. It told a story.
Like before his stuff was trash, bro. Revival, trash. Kamikaze, trash. Like, it's some good stuff in there because the lyrics.
Good stuff. I know what you're saying.
The lyrics are great. All his lyrics are always great. His lyrics will forever be great, bro. But the music was trash.
Yeah.
He finally came with something that actually told a story and then rejuvenated, honestly, his whole career, bro. I don't hear nobody clowning the album or dissing it. Everybody I know who did listen to it said it was good, bro. So is that the route you going down, the conceptual album route?
So when I'm talking about my project in regards to Hollywood Hooks, I would say it's more so of a conceptual project in regards to you can play it from front to back and actually see the story that was played out. I feel like it's a project of somebody's diary that's actually being played out, and one of the biggest reasons is because I've been sitting on this project for a long time, but one thing that people don't understand when it comes down to actually dropping the album is the sequencing of an album, and you want to make certain that track after track after track just makes sense, and you want to make certain that it feels good, you want to make certain that, yeah, sure, you have your one-off singles, but personally, me, I'm here to, cater to the people who fuck with me. I can cuss on this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm here to cater to the people who fuck with me. So, in respect to that, there's songs on this project that you'll hear that you'll feel like it's just made for you. Like, it's tailor-made specifically for you and something that you're going through. Whereas there's other records on here where you will definitely hear my, my lyrical rap display, letting people know how borrowed up I can be, but also how good of a song I can make. And there's even an anthem on here as well. It's actually two anthems, I'd say, on this project, which, again, when I sat and listened to it, I'm the type of person I should say I'm the type of artist that, I'll remove myself from my music. I'll remove myself from my music because I don't want to have a biased opinion of my music. Some people go and make a record that day and be like, man, this joint fire. I'm finna go ahead and drop it. Me, I want to sit back and dissect it, myself, because I was a music head before I decided to even start rapping. So I want to make certain that it's, pleasing to my ears first, through and through. And when I heard what I heard on my project, I said, damn, like, this person that I'm listening to, I have to separate myself from the artist, I got to separate Ben Jammin from Benjamin Hooks. And as Benjamin Hooks and I'm listening to Ben Jammin, I'm over here like, bro, this dude is really going nuts right now. Like, song after song after song after song. I can't believe this person made these records, to be honest with you, but I did, and in doing so, I plan to shape how music sounds. Because right now, I feel like autotune is overused for ultimately no reason. I feel like
Overused.
it's overused. I think it was definitely a tool to use to enhance their creativity, but some folks just use it as a crutch, and when you play my project, yes, there is auto-tune on this project. However, you can tell that it's being used to enhance an artistic.
Being used strategically.
Yeah, it's being used to enhance like an artistic viewpoint that I'm trying to express inside the project. Nothing more, nothing less.
So, music, radio. How did we get into radio? What's that path like for Jammin to entering the world of radio?
Hungry, wanting opportunity. So basically, I started really. My first song I ever read, for real, I was 11 years old, and I freestyled from my middle school, walking home to my crib. I literally, bar for bar, didn't write anything down until I got back to the crib, wrote the verse and the hook. I was 11 years old. But I didn't want to take rap serious until I was 14, because by that time, I don't know, something that came over me. Biggie Duet's album had dropped, and I really wanted to see if I could be better than Biggie. That was really my whole thing. I wanted to be better than Biggie Smalls, and he's really my greatest inspiration to become a rapper. So from 14 all the way to, I want to say, about 22, I was only just rapping. But by the time I turned 22, I realized, man, people dropping their own music videos. They doing this, they doing that. How do I innovate? How do I add to my toolbox? So then I ended up getting Sony Vegas Pro. Cost me like $300 at the time. Started shooting my own music videos with a good friend of mine, Christopher Adam Taylor. We started this production company called Art by 7. We called it Art by 7 because we believe God was the greatest artist of all time, who created the world in 7 days, hence Art by 7. We did that, got on somewhat of a dry spell just because I got into like this writer's block thing, got into a relationship, me trying to balance my personal life with my artistic outlet or whatever. End up job to job, worked at Walmart, ended up reading a book called The Alchemist. And I would definitely recommend anybody to go read the book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Yeah, man. He's a shepherd boy. Yeah. And he kind of displays, it's a fictional tale, but it's something that's so real to everybody's life, to be honest with you. And I think anybody can apply it because, you got to realize that each and every part of your life is just another phase. It's another phase in your life. It may be a year, 2 years, 3 months, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. It's a phase in your life that you're going through. And I think the Alchemist was able to realize different phases in his life, but by the end of the book, you get to understanding that this man believed in himself totally, by the end of his being, because he ended up turning himself into wind to protect himself, and that sounds outrageous, right? But I was working at Walmart, and I'm telling you, I was reading this book faithfully on every break. I'm reading this book, and I look up and I look around at everybody around me, and personally, I knew for a fact that I didn't want to be around those energies anymore. I'm tired of the small talk with people at the Walmart gig. I'm tired of these folks really not having no dream or goals for themselves, and even if they are having any dreams or goals for themselves, they had no idea on how they were going to obtain it. I mean, hell, I kind of didn't either, but I knew I could do something with my life. I knew that much. So in doing so, I ended up taking out a student loan, got myself a whip, and probably about 2 months later, I felt like I had so much money. I was like, you know what? I'm finna walk out this joint. And that's what I did. I walked out of Walmart, and 2 months after that, I was dead broke. 2 months after that, I was dead broke. Like, I had mismanaged my funds, all of it. I was broke. And but I was applying to different jobs and stuff, and one of them I applied to was iHeart. And in doing so, I was still waiting around, and I'll never forget me and my cousin, because he was out of a job. He had got robbed at gunpoint at being a bank teller.
Damn. I wish I had that, the hotkey.
Man, it's real, bro. He had got robbed as being a bank teller, and they thought he was in on it. Like, so the week after that, he got fired. And he was just trying to do a good job, man. But
hey, shout out, cuz.
Yeah. Shout out to my cousin, man. I love you, dog. But we end up being on a basketball basketball court, and we just chopping it up, being like, bro, you know, one day we gonna make something out of ourselves, whatever. And literally, as that had happened, I go to check my phone, and I got an email back from the manager at the time, promotions manager at the time. His name was Jason Liberto, and he was like, hey, we would love to interview you, blah, blah, blah. That's all I needed. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting an interview with iHeart. Interview with iHeart, became part of the street team, and just worked my way up from just being a street team person into working reception at iHeart into honestly coming way over here to 101.7 The Truth. And it's one of these things where, you know, when you in life and you working in life and you working towards something, I don't care what you're doing, man, make sure you maximize every nook and cranny of what you're doing. Like, I've always been a hard worker. My whole life I've always been a hard worker. So when I was just a street team person, I was doing every and any event they needed me to do. I was doing every and anything they wanted me to do, because simply I knew that at any moment my life could change just like that. Like, literally my first day working there, I met Wiz Khalifa. So in meeting Wiz Khalifa, I was like, bro, I'm not leaving this place. I also knew I was in a room full of creatives, and it damn near felt like home. I was not leaving, bro. And even at one point, I was supposed to get fired as a street team person. The dude ended up not firing me because I think he was actually just scared. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. So like, I just ended up not getting fired. But literally the week later, the promotions director came up to me and she was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I'm working. She was like, Jason was supposed to fire you. It turns out it was all for the best, all right? Because I did not get fired.
This is crazy.
Yeah, but I was supposed to be fired. And like I said, though, but I worked every event I needed to. I did more than the things that I need or what I was supposed to do. And in doing so, there was a position that opened up at iHeart, which was the position for receptionist. At the time, they were rotating people in and out of being a receptionist up there, which was like 4 different people, myself included. It was me, Tone, this girl named Chelsea, and one other girl, forget her name or whatever, but I would make certain that I was going to be at the front desk, because ultimately in my mind, you being at the front desk, you're able to meet every and anybody that's going to come in there, and you check them in. And on top of that, you handle all the tickets as well. So any game or anything like that, you the person who pick up all the tickets, and you get first dibs. So I was like, bro, I'm not finna like let this opportunity go. So I've always been able to spot opportunity and know how hard I had to work at opportunity to get opportunity to work in my favor. And in doing so, you know, it worked out for the best, because ultimately, had I never done those things, I would have never known about 101.7 The Truth. So like, what I ended up doing is eventually I worked the other 3 people out of the receptionist job, and they're like, hey, you know what, we're just gonna give it to Ben. Ben always here, Ben do this, Ben do that, whatever. In doing so, I ended up making the receptionist desk like my kind of home, my home away from home. Had tons of notebooks there. I had this piece of paper that was taped to my computer that literally said like, hey, in the year it was like the year 20. Yeah, I said about a year like 2021 and 2022, like I was gonna win Grammys and stuff like that. But it was taped on there to like it was a distraction for anybody who was actually gonna sit back down there. It was mine, you know. So COVID kicks in or whatever. Everybody gets furloughed. I'm the last person to get furloughed. And 6 months after that, I ended up getting a call from a very famous radio DJ here in Milwaukee by the name of Reggie Brown. And
Reggie Smooth as Butter Brown.
Smooth as butter. You already know what it is, big dog. But I ended up getting a call. And actually, the promotions director gave me a call, Hannah Colgan. She's on 95.7 Big FM. And she gives me a call. She's like, hey, Ben, your stuff is still up here. My stuff wouldn't have still been up there had I not already been working reception. But she was like, hey, Ben, your stuff is still up here. This is October 2020 now. And she was like, hey, Ben, you need to come up here and grab your things. So I come up there to grab my things. And reluctantly, I run into Reggie. Reggie ends up telling me about 101.7 The Truth. He's like, bro, you should apply. Boom, bam, boom. I apply, and I'm up over here now, you know, and that would have never happened had I not worked my whole entire space as being a street team personnel out there, or being the best receptionist person I could have been. But, you know, now I'm over here, or was over here as a producer, and even as a producer, I was always working my angle to become even bigger than just being a producer, you know, so.
The main thing that you said to me that stood out the most is spot on opportunity, bro.
Yeah.
if people understood the power of realizing, like, bro, people be in spots that could literally change their life.
In the back of my mind, it could change your life. With all these beats I did, at least let them hear it. At least you can brag to your friends back at the crib.
Exactly. But what people do is, and I don't know if it's from lack of self-confidence. I don't know if it's from a feeling of inferiority. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like people be in situations that if they literally just opened their eyes. Mm-hmm. If they opened their eyes and looked around and realized, oh, dang, bro, if I take this opportunity, I could literally go to the next level. Mm-hmm. Exactly, bro. So that's an interesting story, bro. It's funny that the fact that person came to you and was like, well, what is you doing here, dog?
Yeah.
Like, you supposed to not be
I was supposed to be fired. But that wasn't God playing for me, though. Like, I was supposed to be there.
So you got your own show now. You came to 101.7 The Truth. Mm-hmm. You producing. I mean, you even do more than being a host. Like, you do, like, a lot. So what's next? Where do we see Ben Jammin going from being a radio host? Is it that you want to grow this and make this the biggest thing ever, or are you prepping for another great adventure?
I know there's people listening, so I'll be careful with my words. But with that being said, I'm here to make Jammin Juice the biggest radio show of all time, and in doing so, inevitably, my brand will become bigger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, hey, that's that PR, that media training over there one. Because I hit you with that tough question.
Too tough. I skated that.
I love it. No, you went crazy. That's really how you're supposed to answer it. Now, something that, first off, I want your top 5 rappers of all time before we go. That's what I wanted to ask after you was done talking, when you was talking about rap, before I go to this next question. What's your top 5 rappers of all time?
Biggie, Jay-Z, Wayne, Kanye, and then myself. Love it.
I just wanted to get that out there.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that you did not have Eminem on that list.
No, he's definitely not on my list.
Okay, that's a little bit disrespectful,
No,
but okay.
No, it's not.
So what do you got Eminem all time?
All time? Greatest of all time?
Top 10.
I'm not giving Eminem top 10. He probably top 20.
Oh. All right.
I think Drake, Kendrick.
Oh, no. Did this dude say Drake? Better than Eminem?
Yeah, if we're talking about song-wise, impact. Because, look, I'm not going to lie to you, Jason. I watched your Carrie interview, okay?
Yes.
And you were riding this nigga's nuts.
Eminem used to be my favorite rapper of all time before Revival and that dropped.
Did you think you were white?
No, it's nothing to do about... Dog, this has nothing to do about being white. This has everything to do about skill.
What?
Skill level, the rhyming, the storytelling, the manipulation of words, bro. Like, I had never heard nothing like that before Eminem, and the way Eminem did it.
So so your criteria for breaking down the best rapper of all time, is it just based off his lyrics?
No, it's based off everything. It's based off sales. It's based off popularity. It's based off influence. It's based off lyrics. The one thing that's lacking now, which wasn't lacking back then, like back then his beats used to be fire. When he had Dre working on them, Marshall Mathers LP, that's why he's not, bro. He used to be my GOAT. He's not the GOAT anymore to me. He's still top 5 though. He's like 5th on my list.
I mean, it's okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it's all, but you got to think about mass appeal. Yes, he's white, so that assisted. But no matter what, he appealed.
See, my thing is, when I think about people affecting the culture, I really think about Jay-Z every time.
I think Jay-Z's the greatest ever, bro. I agree with you on that. Well, you think Biggie, but I think Jay-Z.
Bro, and I mean, honestly, it's arguable, because I ain't going to lie. Like, I was probably just in my car just like 2 days ago. And again, Biggie was my inspiration to even start rapping. But, like, it's hard to compare somebody who only got 2 albums to somebody who got like 14.
I agree.
You know, your body of work is just that much more, bigger, but when I think about influence, and I really think about Jay-Z, because, like, bro, I know you weren't that old at the time, but, like, bro, I remember being 12 years old and Jay-Z said, "We're not wearing jerseys no more."
Everybody started wearing jerseys.
Nobody wore a jersey anti-more, bro. Everybody threw on the polos with the button up, fam. That was that. Like, that was the swag. And it's because Jay-Z said it.
Yeah.
That's it. I've yet to see a Drake do that. The only other person I know who has that much impact and influence on the culture like that was Lil Wayne. Because after Lil Wayne, everybody got face tats and everybody got dreads. That was it. I have not seen nobody else have that much of an impact on the culture like that. Like, sure, you could say Kanye, everybody goes to buy his shoes, but look, if a nigga tell you that you can't wear your jersey no more,
and then you stop. Kanye just came out. I was just watching an interview. Kanye just came out and said that he said Drake's the best rapper numbers wise, but Jay-Z's the best rapper influence and inspiration wise. But even with the Kanye, remember like the polo backpack back in the day.
See, that's my thing. Look, Kanye,
that was already from Jay-Z.
There you go. Because Kanye just came through and capitalized on it by wearing the backpack.
Yeah.
It wasn't the polo. The polo, everybody decided to clean up after Jay-Z said we needed to clean up. Like, that's what was happening. But Kanye, you threw the backpack on, and it was the Louis Vuitton Don. I get it, bro. I get it. But I don't think he would have really been able to pull off that swag at the time if Jay-Z hadn't already kind of okayed that swag. My opinion.
No, I agree. Because, I mean, I got Jay-Z number 1. I got Kanye number 3. I got Kendrick number 2. I got Wayne number 4. Well, Wayne and Kanye can't be interchangeable. But the reason I got to put Ye above Wayne is because I told you I'm taking everything into account. So I'm taking awards. He is him and Jay-Z the most awarded artist. You know what I'm saying?
Wise.
So when you're thinking of everything. But I don't know. I mess with that list.
What makes you put Kendrick over Wayne though?
See, at first
number 2 for
no,
Kendrick.
I think no, and for you got to really understand how hard that is for me because like you know I'm a J. Cole fan
for no reason.
Yeah, and Joseph, like I grew up a J. Cole fan. I grew up debating them about who better, J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar. But Kendrick Lamar, he just took it to another level. I think that Wayne is, when it comes to rapping, bro, Wayne is obviously goated. Punchline king. But he does not have
the body of work.
A To Pimp a Butterfly.
Got you.
A Damn. I'm talking a conceptual album, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think really, for real, I think Wayne, I know for a fact Wayne can do it.
He can do it.
Because, like, when he actually has conceptual tracks, they actually are some of the best shit you've ever heard. Ever heard.
Yeah.
I don't know why he doesn't just be like, you know what, I'm gonna make a conceptual rap album. Like, make the Carter 6 a conceptual rap album, fam. Like, for real. Because Wayne, again, anytime he's went into his storytelling bag, and he's just trying to paint a picture for you vividly, it's flawless. And I would love to see Wayne do that instead of just talking about money, pussy, weed, you know?
You know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing. Because, like, bro, and he will be able to do that, talk about the conceptual stuff, still using the punchlines. That's how cold he is, bro. Like, the dude is out of this world. But he missing awards as well. Like, Kendrick, got
Very
17
true.
Grammys. I think Wayne got a couple. So it's just...
I think Wayne only got like 2.
That's what I'm saying. So
it was only at his height.
Bro, it hurt me to say I don't want to put Kendrick number 2. But it got to a point then after he killed Drake, it was just like, I can't say nothing.
Give it to them.
I can't say that. He'll never pass Jay-Z for me, though. I can't lie. Jay-Z cemented us to go.
Yeah, I think really ultimately, you know, Jay-Z, again, when we talk about that idea of spotting opportunity, you know, everybody talks about that video of him, like, it says Summer Jam in 2001, and he's just looking, and he got this stare.
I remember that.
He got this stare.
Yeah.
And Dame Dash is around him, and Memphis Bleek is around him, and everybody's asking, like, damn, like, what was really going on in Jay-Z's mind? I think at that point, Jay-Z knew how far this thing could go for him. You know, he had already brought Michael Jackson out.
Like, that was dang near at the same time. Because Michael Jackson was looking crazy too. Both of them was looking like, bro, who are these people around us?
Bro, I think at that point, Jay-Z knew how far this could really go. Like, it's no falling off at this point.
He got Michael Jackson to come onto his thing, but that's what he talked about it. Yeah. He said that he modeled the blueprint after Thriller. He said what he was trying to do with the blueprint was make another Thriller. And bro, and when you really think about it, when we talking about hip hop and the culture of hip hop, Blueprint did a lot, bro.
Oh yeah,
Blueprint was amazing.
It's in the Library of Congress.
It's not his best album though. Reasonable Doubt probably is his best album, even though that's his first album.
I tend to go back to a lot of his old music. I love The Streets is Watching DVD. I also love In My Lifetime Volume 1.
You don't like Volume 2? Or
I hated Volume 2. I hated Blueprint 2.
I don't like Blueprint 2. Even though J. Cole was on that album.
No, he was on Blueprint 3.
Oh, yeah, he was on Blueprint 3 with the Star.
Star is Born.
Star is Born. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. So, but something that I want to move on to that interests me a lot about you.
Okay.
Is you say you're a sapiosexual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is your opinion of a sapiosexual, and where did it come from? And yeah, when did you become a sapiosexual?
So, I think I've always been a sapiosexual. I just never had a term to define it. However, my idea of being a sapiosexual is just somebody who's in love with the arts, in love with the intellects of other people. It fuels me. It inspires me to hear different intellectual thoughts happen. For somebody, I'm in love with geniuses. I'm in love with the genius of people and the genius of art. Like, I'm the type of person that if I go into an art gallery, I'm gonna go to the abstract art. Like, I love to look at a piece of art, see it one day, see it the next day, and see something totally different. And I think that's the beauty of the world that we live in. Life is about perspective. So when I say I'm a sapiosexual, that's what I mean. I fall in love with those types of ideas of the world that we live in, the art patterns, the intellects of the people's minds, the colors that we live in. I've been a person who's always appreciated every moment of my life. Like, I appreciate the fact that we're sitting here. I appreciate the fact that how this light is actually pinging off of the I appreciate this world that God really made around us. Like, you really have to really look and be like, damn, like, God really prepared all of these things. Like, again, like I said before, me and my guy, we had made a company called Art by Seven, and God being the greatest artist of all time, I can do nothing but admire all of the marvelous things that he's put down here on this earth for him to create and then for us to create as well. So that's what I mean.
Bon, no, yeah, I just wanted to get that out. That's gonna make for a good reel too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Motherfuckers think about niggas suck dick. Especially with our perverted country and shit. Like, that's what people first think of. Yeah. And then, like, because of the platform that I do have, it's one of these things that I know the audience that ears are tingling when I say it. So it's just one of these things where, I know who I'm talking to. And for some people, it makes them feel that much more comfortable to come and talk to me, right? Yeah. For another group of people out there, they're like, oh my God, this guy must be gay, And ultimately, I thought to myself a long time ago, and this really came from Kanye West, and I say Kanye West and Lady Gaga, but I realized that once you do get into the limelight and people start questioning your sexuality, that's when you made it.
Yeah, without question. I mean, because you would think about it, people was calling Michael Jackson gay, Prince gay. Yeah, like they calling some of the dudes who getting all the girls, all the women. Yeah, I don't want to be derogatory.
You got it.
Calling all the women, getting all the women, and they over here questioning that. So nah.
Like, I remember Sierra when she first.
They said she was a hermaphrodite. Oh yeah, they said that about Lady Gaga when I was in school.
Yeah, bro, and I never even knew. Like, when Sierra came out, I didn't even know what a hermaphrodite was. I was like 11 years old. I never heard that term a day in my life. So it took me down a rabbit hole. But then again, it was like one of them things where, I knew she had made it. Lady Gaga the same, and Lady Gaga was so smart about it and so courageous with it. She just played into it. Yeah, like, that's one of the things that when you talk about, like, 48 Laws of Power, sometimes you need to play into people's beliefs. Yeah, play into people's beliefs of what they believe about you already, and hey, you will supersede their thoughts.
What's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear is loss of creativity.
How do you face that fear?
By creating more.
Boom. Okay, you hit me with that. Hey, you hit me with that. Do you ever get any creative blocks, or do you ever? What do you do in order to get over that creative block?
I gotta create, but really, it's more so about living life and just finding ways to stay inspired. Like, last year when I lost my dad, I definitely had a creative block. I didn't know how to express myself. And honestly, that was one of my biggest things of why began starting to express myself when I was just a child, because again, I didn't know how to express any of my emotions. So in doing so, I had to find different ways and avenues to figure out ways to, like I just said, express myself. So as a kid, I used to, I wouldn't say lock myself in my bedroom, but once I did finally have my own bedroom, I used to be in my own bedroom for hours on end, and I used to recreate, and this is why I'm like, damn, these kids don't know how good they got it, but I used to recreate, like, Dragon Ball Z and Digimon and, like, Pokemon and Power Rangers and put it all into this whole big movie script, if you will. And I used to act out everybody's role of what I felt like they should have been and what they could have done. And I used to act it all out. And I used to think that I was crazy. But in turn, once I grew up, I just realized that it wasn't just only that my mind was super creative and I was super, vibrant in my imagination, but it was one of these things that could not only just free me, but free others. So
that's one thing Lauryn Hill talked about. Like, she was like, because one thing I don't like when people drop album after album after album without no time in between. Just because Lauryn Hill said, because there was an owner saying, why do you only have one album and stuff like that? Well, bro, I believe you need time to live, bro. For any artist, not just music, for any artist, you need time to live, time to experience, and then you draw from that lived experience. I don't like when you drop an album and then 1 month later you drop another album, and then another month later. Like, I get it, and that's dope, and I'm sure it's a whole bunch of people that do like that. I just believe in order to create the best art, you have to live, and then you draw from that lived experience.
Right. No, I agree with that. Art imitates life, and if you're an artist who hasn't lived life, how can you imitate the life that you lived and create art? It's one of these things where, even here on radio, we talk each and every day, and I would be doing a disservice to the listening audience of me who listens each and every day if I didn't go out there and live my life and develop different perspectives on life. That's why, again, I have to do these deep dives into not only myself but to other people to see how other people are thinking sometimes, because I can't always be right. There's many times that I'm wrong, but I'm the type of person I'd rather be wrong and then learn to be right, so then I can be right instead of just thinking I'm right and then always being wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, trust me, I'm with you on. Speaking of radio, perfect segue to the question that I got.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the role of radio in today's media landscape, especially for millennials and Gen Zs?
Yeah, you know what, man? I think the human experience is getting back down to what I would like to think of as the philosopher's time. When you think about ancient Greece, and they used to hold up their theologians and their philosophers as big-time celebrities. I think that's what we're getting back around to. I think that's why podcasting and radio is where it is today. People actually want to hear substance. People actually want to hear different thoughts of information instead of just bobbing their head at every moment. People want to actually become, smarter and have, a few different answers for their lives instead of just going along to get along. That's why I think the position of radio is right now. I think it's more so the talk radio format, but it's also because it's been exacerbated by the podcast audience, right? People love to listen to podcasts, but you got to really ask why people are listening to podcasts. And it's because not just for the entertainment factor, but people want information. And if you really think about it, they say that we're in the age of Aquarius, and so it's the age of information where water is being poured out of the vase that Aquarius is pouring. So, that information is being poured out from people who are confident and courageous enough to speak.
So what would be your advice? What would be your advice to somebody who's wanting to get into the radio or the media landscape industry? What could you tell them?
Pick up a microphone and be your true and authentic self.
And that's gonna take you far.
Yeah. I mean, I think I still want to test this out myself. But I was listening to a young gentleman talk about vibrations and frequencies, and talk about the love frequency, and talk about the fear frequency. But he said that the highest frequency anybody can vibrate at is authenticity. People can sense authenticity. People can feel the realness coming up out of you, and it makes me really think back to what hip hop even began as. People wanted you to be real and authentic and true to yourself, So if we think about that concept and how we can spread that across the world, if more people are true and authentic to themselves, I think that's how we get down to, again, freeing people from their own chains and shackles, right? Like, you don't have to be I'm just gonna not crapping on anybody who works factory, but you don't have to be a factory worker for the rest of your life to live a good life. If you tap into who you truly are, that'll set you free and the next person free as well. You need to go and not be afraid to share your life experiences with people. I mean, you lived a life for a reason, so you need to again, if you're going to get into radio or you're going to get into any field, just be your true and authentic self and allow that to lead you. If I decided to just stay at Walmart because, I was too scared to leave the job or, too scared to be who I knew I already was, then I wouldn't be who I am right now. You know, you got to just truly just really just fill yourself out, man, and know who the hell you are. And I think that's really what it comes down to when we talk about like stepping on a microphone or stepping out there and being your true and authentic self. I think a lot of people haven't taken the time to deep dive to actually understand who they are as a person, or even figure out what hobbies they like, who they are. You know, a lot of people just trying to live a life that they think that everybody else will okay, and be like, oh my God, well, you have such a good job. You're making $100,000. You're making $1 million a year. Man, that's so great of you. But meanwhile, you're miserable, you know. So if you would have actually just been true and authentic to yourself, so what if you make a little bit less money or something like that? Are you happy at the end of the day? You know, and we only got one life. You don't know if you're going to die tomorrow. So you could have had that $1 million but die tomorrow and still be miserable.
So how do you define success?
I define success by the goals that you go out there and set forth for yourself. You know, if you go out there and obtain and achieve something, then you're successful. You know, some people would allude to the idea that money equates to success, but it doesn't. You know, how fulfilled are you with inside your spirit? Are you joyful? You know, did somebody steal your joy? That's how I would define success. Like, what values are instilled within you, and how do they go out there and help the rest of humanity? You know, it'd be very selfish of a person to obtain $1 million and only keep it for themselves. You know, it'd be very selfish for somebody to have a gift that could feed 1 million people and keep it to themselves. So it's one of them things, like, however you're using your time, just go out there and do it, but make sure that you do it and achieve them goals that you really do have on your heart, mind, and soul, because ultimately you're not just robbing yourself, but you're robbing everybody else from your gift if you don't ever share it to the world.
That's something that last statement you said is something that I had to wrap my head around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, before, I was even nervous to ever, bro, we've been talking about a podcast since I was in middle school, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
that's dope.
we were about to just do sports stuff.
Yeah.
But the main thing that held us back, that held me back, was, bro, I was scared to, like, put myself out there. Like, bro, what the heck? Like, what? I'm sitting behind a mic and I'm just talking, and like, obviously anytime you're behind a mic in front of a camera, you're vulnerable, because like, come on now.
Right.
So, but what got me was Rick Rubin.
Okay.
A music, one of the greatest music moguls.
Co-founder of Def Jam.
Yes, bro. One thing that he said was, dude, like what you just said, like, you cannot rob the world of your gifts, bro.
Right.
No matter what you think, there's somebody out there, dude, who's listening, who's taking it.
And they need it.
And they need it, bro. And you helping change. That's why, bro, me and Joe talk about it all the time, dog. All I need is one person to come and tell me, bro, you helped me. Mm-hmm. One person to come and tell, like,
that's heavy too.
And that's everything, dog.
Yeah.
So don't rob, and this is for everybody, do not rob the world of your gifts, bro. Just put that out there and let whatever go happen manifest the way it's going to manifest. You got nothing to lose by putting your love out there, because that's what I call it. I just say it's putting the love out there. Right. When I'm talking about this pod, every episode is just love. Every reel is just love, bro. It's just putting the love out there, and whatever come from that, come from it. But as long as you do your part in putting the love out. If your family could describe you in 3 words, what would you say? What would you think they would say?
I don't know. Shoot, crazy. I have no idea what to say. You gotta ask them, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
The next time,
I ain't gonna lie. They might be like, man, this man crazy, hilarious, but also loving.
Yeah.
You know what? It makes me really think though, Jason, because I was thinking about this the other day. But my brother Johnny, we linked up early this year, and one thing that he told me that I was like, oh wow, it was super baffling to me, but he was like, Ben, you the glue to the family. And that was very powerful to me.
That's super powerful.
Yeah, and I was like, bro, stop playing with me. Like, I'm the glue, bro. He's like, bro, you the glue. You the person that when it come down to having family time, fam, you make it family time. Like, you make it family time. So, like, I don't know if my family would be asked that question. I don't even think they have 3 words. I think they just use one. It's like family man. So,
I love that. Hey, yeah. Modern day family guy.
Yeah,
you
bro.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I care about my family. I love them.
How do you handle criticism?
Excellently. All right. I take it in. I don't internalize it, but I do listen, especially if it's just constructive. I know when somebody's a hater, but if it's constructive criticism, I listen open ears, because like I told you before, I can't always be right. There's times in my life I've been hella wrong, and I need to listen to the criticism so it can put me back on the right path, and I ain't just taking criticism from just any Joe Schmo off the street. You know, the person who's criticizing me, and especially if they're in my circle, somebody close to me, they are of a stature that can, you know, to speak to me correctly, to put me on that path to succeed. You know, put me on the path to make certain that I'm in my corner winning. You know, so I take it in, and I try to, especially if it's legit, I try to make sense of it and use it.
No, I feel that. No, I'm the same way. I love criticism.
Yeah,
I love to get criticized, bro.
Right.
Because
I feed into it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, cause like one, I don't internalize. Like I don't. Oh, I'm a bad person or I messed up. It's like it either one, it has me second. I don't want to say second guessing, but it has me to take a step back and think. Is there any validity to what they're saying?
Exactly.
And once I think, and if I don't agree with that, and and if there's nothing to come from it, that I tell myself, but that's their opinion, and that's their perspective of how they looked at it, bro. And that's perfectly fine, bro.
Right.
It's perfectly beautiful.
100%, because people are always going to try to tell you who you are. The thing is, you got to show them who you are.
Exactly, bro. You got to show them, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go based off of other people's perception that's built off of, bro, small interactions. These people don't know you, bro, but yet they coming up with a whole perception of who you are. And it's stopping them from actually getting to know the real you because they so stuck on a perception that they have of you, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like, just get past that. Don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Keep it moving, man.
So now I want to move on. So like from the previous podcast, when I had two of my best friends, two of my brothers, they were well, it's still going on, but it's two different podcasts. Okay, we had a few different segments. So we had this or that, spin the wheel, and a deep dive. I got to bring the spin the wheel back. So I'm gonna give you three options. I'm gonna give you three questions, three this or that, but I'm not gonna explain, I'm not gonna elaborate, none of that. All I'm gonna do is give you the options. You interpret it the way you interpret it and tell me the answer and why you chose that answer.
That's right.
First one. Order or chaos?
Interesting. Chaos.
Why?
You create chaos first and then order comes. I'm also a Gemini, so on one side of me there is order, the other side of me is chaos, but I need the chaos to actually create order.
I agree with you. I'm all chaos. I think chaos is the most beautiful, bro. Yeah. I think the most beautiful art is the quote unquote mess ups, bro, because it's like you get something so natural, something so spontaneous, something that honestly probably wasn't supposed to look like that, but that's what it is, bro.
Exactly.
Like, if you really look at the world, this is controlled. It's controlled chaos. Like, bro, we got birds flying around. We got trees growing from the ground. We up in this mug walking around. We got cars driving. All the terrible, terrible gases going in the air that we breathe in. Bro, it's just chaotic. We got wars on one side of the world.
But it's also beautiful, like you said.
And it's just so... It can't get more beautiful. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I'm all chaos.
I'm with you.
Second one. Power or wisdom?
Power or wisdom? So I can't ask you what kind of power. Just power or wisdom.
However you interpret it.
Power.
Why?
Because if I have power, I must have wisdom.
I like the way you just flipped it.
Yeah.
See, people don't be knowing how to flip them. You know what I'm saying? I tell them that, and they be super stuck, but they don't know how to. Because in all honesty, bro, in order to have power, you need to be wise. You have to utilize that wisdom in order to get to that level of power.
100%.
You feel what I'm saying?
48 Laws of Power, I'll tell you.
48 Laws. Did you read the book or?
I read the book, watched animation videos on it, and I constantly look back at the 48 Laws of Power to figure out what law of power I need to use in my life.
Do you tap into any other Robert Greene books? Because he got a few: Law of Human Nature, Law of Seduction,
Law of Mastery. Let's see, what other one? I have the Art of Seduction. I never read that one though. But Mastery I tapped into because that's really for creatives.
Joe got Art of Mastery.
Yeah.
That's
dope. And then Art of War, but that's by Sun Tzu.
Joe got Art of War too. He the one who told me about that. Put me on with all of them. Yep. That's crazy. So last one, this or that. Love or logic?
Love or logic? I don't even know how both of those come together, but I'd go for love.
Why?
I mean, because it's impractical to love, to be honest with you. But, you know, me as a person, love is also vulnerable. But you also have to be strong to love. So, love.
No, I completely agree. One, I think love is obviously everything.
Yeah.
But there are people who put logic above everything.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they don't believe. It's a lot of people who don't believe in the spiritual realm. Or it's a lot of people who don't believe in the unseen because it doesn't logically make sense.
It doesn't compute.
But love transcends logic. Love transcends wisdom. Love transcends anything you can possibly ever think of. Any prophet that came to this world, any leader, spiritual leader, or just Martin Luther King, Malcolm, any leader that come, the main message is always love, bro, because that transcends it all, bro. The last segment I love, and this is probably my favorite segment, it's called a deep dive, where I like to ask a philosophical question that keep me, like I told you earlier today, that keep me up late at night, like, pondering, because like I never find answers to none of it, but I love to think about it, ponder about it.
Okay.
Now this deep dive is, can true happiness be achieved, or is it a fleeting state?
It's fleeting.
Explain.
Happiness is an emotion. What people are really fighting for is joy. Joy is something that is inside of you that nobody can take from you. Happiness is happy birthday. Happiness is a celebration somebody's throwing for you. But if you're joyful, even on your bad days, you'll still be happy. You know, it's been many a times that it was a time in my life I just decided to be homeless, but I still was joyful in that pursuit.
We gotta talk about that.
I lived a crazy life. I really didn't know where you were gonna go, Jason, because I lived a lot. I lived a crazy life, bro. So we can talk about that too.
Tell me. What do you mean you were homeless, bro?
Bro, so I was homeless, but really I was just homeless for like 2 nights.
Because you chose to be homeless,
Yeah.
you just said.
Yeah, I chose it. But really it was like, so the night I chose to be homeless or whatever was more so, I'm the type of person, like I like to go on these just adventures, if you will. And I decided to go homeless because ultimately I didn't want anybody over me telling me what I can and cannot do.
You wanted the power to control.
Yeah.
Over your life.
Right. And I mean, I'm telling you, I slept outside underneath a rock. Like literally, it was a rock on this beach. It's this beach we got in Racine called North Beach, and I walked all the way up the shore to where they got these rocks where it's like these big ass boulders, if you will, one here, one there, and one just happened. And one slab was on top of them. Figured it'd be a nice little crib for the night, and I slept there. Woke up and made my own little fire. Like, yeah, bro. Mm-hmm.
So what is going through your head throughout this time? You sleeping under a rock, you making a fire. What are you like? What are you thinking? Like, what's going through your head?
You know, honestly, it was kind of like a state of bliss, like freedom, kind of being one with the rest of the world. And because when you're out there on a beach just late night, and mind you, it's probably like August, actually it's probably right around this time. All you got is the stars, and you kind of just thinking about life and where life is headed, especially just me. That's where I was at in my life, just trying to figure out where my life was going to go. You know, I had these big aspirations of becoming the greatest rapper of all time, but I truly did not know how I was going to get there. And I always was just, you know, just trying to scope opportunity for myself, you know, and that was just at any point in my life, especially in my younger late teens to early 20s. I was always just trying to scope out an opportunity for me to become something in this lifetime, and just maximize my potential while I was here. So I stopped and talked to every homeless person I possibly could. I talked to every rich person I possibly could. I talked to every middle class person I possibly could who had any sort of wisdom. I remember being younger and just, you know, even talking to crackheads and talking to them and them telling me things about life that, you know, I was just trying to pile up this wisdom for myself, you know, and that's really what road I was on the whole time, just trying to find wisdom. And I'm still kind of on that road, just trying to find out the path. Like, I remember even when I did get into radio, I was trying to think to myself, like, man, this is all I needed to do, just get in the radio, and I was going to get to the next level. I was going to get signed to some label or whatever have you. But it was still more work out that still needed to be had because I didn't know all these other things that still needed to be done to even create an audience for yourself or have connections to this label or that label or know this person so this can happen for yourself or know how shows are ran, and in doing so in my pursuit, I found out all of those things. But in regards to like you were asking, what was going through my mind at the time of me being homeless is just, looking for me.
You know what else? Buddha, Jesus, all of these great, because you was talking about being one with nature and being one, and that's how you feel. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm too scared to ever try something like that. But like you said, because like, bro, come on now. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just way too scared because like I'm thinking what is gonna happen. But you talk to all the rich people, you talk to the poor people, you talk to the crackhead. What is the best piece of advice that you've ever received
in my life? Best piece of advice in my life. I mean, honestly, probably just came from my mom, for real. And just be true to thyself. Be honest with you. That probably the best piece of advice. And I know that's pretty vague, but
it's powerful.
Yeah, it is powerful because, sometimes we go in life and we looking around for all the answers. We asking everybody for all the answers, but the answers truly lie within inside yourself, and I think, it goes back to what I was saying before in regards to, you figuring out a hobby or you figuring out like your purpose or whatever. It's kind of like, what do you have to offer to the rest of the world? And that's going to be you for the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you have to give to the world. So live in that. Like, if you're an amazing dancer, continue on dancing. Like, one way or another, it's going to put you onto the path that you need to be on so you can ultimately be yourself, so you can go out and be somebody else's superhero out there. Like, it's just one of them things, man.
The goal of this podcast is to inspire, to give out the keys, to give out the nuggets.
Right.
My guy, you have given out a boatload.
Well, thank you.
And that's why I really appreciate you coming on here, because like the people who watching this, the nuggets you drop, bro, you done recommended books. You done recommended different philosophies to tap into, different mindsets to enter, to live in. It's powerful, bro. And it makes sense. It makes sense to how you are the way you are right now. The joy over happiness aspect of everything makes perfect sense. Because as you were saying that, I was just applying that to my life. Like, wow, bro. Yeah, happiness is fleeting. But the thing that keep me going, the thing that wake me up is just a joy for life, bro.
Right.
A joy for this.
Joy.
Like, this is just insane, bro. This is the greatest gift anybody could ever receive, the gift of life, bro.
Yeah, man. The best gift of life is your next breath.
Literally, bro.
So you better rest on that.
When I point to you, I just need you to say, we catch him. We catch him.
All right.
And you just got done watching another episode of Dream Catchers presents the Jason Smith Show, where we don't chase dreams, nah.
We catch him.
We catch him.